that. So because that's what keeps the caliper spring loaded. So we want to go on top of the spring, and that's it. And then we put the
bottom.
yeah, we put the slider, and same thing. This one you can grab a little bit. You put a, where you can just put just a film on, and that way we all set to go. And we know for sure that this thing is done. Like that already. And the top one,
I didn't
Lee, did you stole the top one?
I,
Oh, okay.
what top one?
So Picasso,
you need a top one?
Picasso, we have to take it apart again. I'm not gonna put anything here. So the top one, you gotta get a screwdriver, just a little spring loaded, and you slide it,
Son of a bitch.
and
How
that's
easy
it.
is that?
And then you
It's a
just
lot
do-
easier than how I did it.
How'd you do it?
And then you got those little clips that we took off before, and you just push it in, and that's it.
Together.
Sometimes it can open up a little bit, you know, in case they are
Yeah.
just to
If
open up a
you-
little bit this way.
If you lose one of these and you don't have nothing else, you can use a cutter pin, a little mechanical wire, you know, something just enough. Because what really moves is the caliper, not the slider. The slider, if you guys come and look here, it's pretty centric with the bracket. So if you, like I say, in the middle of nowhere, you don't have those clip, don't get nuts, just find a cutter pin or find a mechanical wire.
Paper clip.
Just enough, yeah, paper clip, whatever works, you know, temporary to, you know, then to get the right one. So, and this is pretty much what we do to, assuming that, you know, if we have to change the rotors, you know, we can pull those two bolts, and we slide the rotor out, and then make sure that the hub flange is nice and clean before you put the new rotor. And this thing can just be pretty much hand torque. You don't really have to do anything because it's pretty much this one is to line up the wheel when you go back to put it on. That's all really.
It doesn't hold anything, it's just a guide.
Once you put the 4 bolts, the long bolts, everything's packed together.
Do you always buy new rotors? You ever machine the old ones? Or?
No, you cannot machine these rotors because they're already so thin.
Okay.
And once you need it, if we measure, it's already over. Plus,
And they're so cheap.
Rotors are 20
They're so
bucks.
cheap, so why
they've been
bother? Yeah.
overheated already, and you know, once you take more material, you know, even if you try to be able to do it, after 500 miles, things gonna go like this, and you're gonna have pulsation. So, and those rotors are really cheap. So,
Cheap.
yeah, they're cheap. So, and that's it. Once it's done and everything, we do that, you know, whatever front and rear. Then I usually, even if the brake fluid is clean, we just wanna open a little bit. You know, we just have somebody, you know, push the brakes in, make sure everything's in, and then we just give them a little shot, you know, to get rid of whatever moisture is right there, right by the piston.
Giovanni, did you do anti-seize or anything on the bleed screws?
Oh yeah, if you take the bleeder screw out, you think it's it, you put a little anti-seize on the threads, like we talked previous things.
Like plugs.
Yeah, and then make sure that, like I said, that the rubber plug is there. And the best thing is, if you keep it up every couple of years, usually, you know, the bleeder screw doesn't get stuck. But, you know, and those things, like I say, if you try to, once they break, you can just take the caliper, throw them in the garbage. Because if you try to drill it, even a machine shop with the, you know, the equipment they have, it's really easy. The center gets off a little bit, and you start chewing on the caliper. You know, a rebuilt caliper, it's about $110. It's not really. And if you try to rebuild, the time you get the bleeder screw and the kit, and you have to spend, unless you know, you guys don't have nothing to do like Lee, Saturday, Sunday, he can rebuild his own caliper. No.
Handbrake, do you grease the handbrake? To maintain the handbrake, anything special?
The
with cable?
handbrake, really, it's a cable. If it's, usually when you guys buy a brake cable, or we install a brake cable, we usually try to put some oil inside there, you know, and kind of play up and down until it kind of comes out of the other side.
Like a Vespa.
And yes,
right?
like a bicycle, like a Vespa. And then you put it back on. And usually if it's free, I wouldn't worry about it. The only thing is this, if you need any adjustment. But usually once the adjustment is there and you need rear pads, and you back everything in place, usually it goes back on automatic. You know, you don't have to really, some people start undoing it, and then you know they do double work. You don't really have to. You know what I mean? So